That's good. That means they didn't catch the comment when we actually went live, which is probably for the best anyways.
Probably for the best, yeah.
That was for the best anyways. All right, well, now that you guys should be able to hear us, this is a very special episode of Top Clack we're doing today. We wanted to address COVID-19 and how it's impacting our community. And as you can see on screen right now, we have quite a collection of content creators, vendors, and designers alike. And we thought it would be good to kind of sit down and go over how all of us have been impacted and what we can kind of expect moving forward in the community. So, obviously, you guys probably already know myself, Quakeums, and Jay, my co-host, who is very lovely as always. But you might not recognize some of the other faces we have on stream today. So we're going to go through and just kind of introduce everyone real quick, and then we're going to get down and dirty into it with some discussion, guys. And of course, we are going to end the stream with a bit of a Q&A like always. So if you guys have important questions, please save those for later. Osiris, let's start with you, sir.
What is up, everyone? My name is Osiris, and I am one half of Mechs on Deck, along with my partner here to my... Oh, look on the stream. I think that's right. Chewy. You're up.
I am the other half of Mechs on Deck, Chewy. And I have the best hair here. Fight me.
Fair. If Dixie takes off his hat,
Lang has the best beard, though.
I do.
Lang has the best beard, yeah.
All right. Someone else, feel free to take the stage.
Well, since we're talking about my beard.
That's right.
This is what happens when I don't shave for 6 days. Ooh. I'm Langlandia. I do stuff.
Nice. All right. Dixie, what about you?
Oh, I'm Dixie. I run Dixie Mech, which we sell keyboards, key sets, if you don't know who we are. I guess that's good.
Yeah. You're probably living under a rock if you don't know who Dixie Mech is. And next up we have the Necros, of course.
Hi. I'm Necromanix, and I run together with Julia, Necromanix. We run MyKeyboard.eu.
MyKeyboard.eu, very, very large EU presence. Salvin, I don't think we've ever seen you on any streams or anywhere before, so this is kind of a treat for a lot of people. Why don't you introduce yourself as well?
Well, I'm Salvin, and I make keyboards.
Literally,
that's about it. That is not it.
Yeah.
Actually makes sense.
Yeah, you actually make keyboards, which is something almost nobody else in the community does. So I think you're going to be a pretty good fit for this as well. Yeah, you don't make keyboards, Dixie. Sorry.
You design them.
We all pretend that we do stuff, but Salvin actually does all the work.
Started off with a lie. Let's get started.
It's all right. You can only go upwards from here, Dix. Don't worry.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes. So obviously, we want to talk about COVID-19, and we're going to start out by talking about how it's impacting the various areas of our community as well. So obviously, it's going to take a toll on multiple things, including manufacturing, distribution, and things like that. So what are some of the changes that you guys have been seeing already in the community so far? Because I just noticed the other day that KBD Fans has already stopped shipping to most of Europe. And that's a pretty big deal. A lot of people have been complaining about that. And I think that's only going to be the start of a lot of the issues that we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it's not just the EU, it's actually Europe as well as a whole. So there's even countries outside of the EU that they're not shipping to, which is pretty big, to be honest. It's pretty big news.
Yeah, so how have some of your businesses and projects been impacted so far, guys?
Well, for us, for example, it started in January with Chinese suppliers after Chinese New Year. it should hit the fan there, and that impacted deliveries clearly. And now it start to impact us shipping to our customers.
Are you guys finding yourselves unable to ship to certain areas at all now? Are you following in kind of what KBD Fans is doing and just stop shipping to certain areas?
No, for now we keep shipping to everything, but we are getting some notifications from customers as well as from some shipping partners that they can't reach certain countries. Like, for example, I think Spain was a problem now.
Spain and Austria.
Austria as well, yeah. But
Poland seems to be an issue as well, because KBD Fans did ship my Polaris, but it's got stuck in Poland, and they're not shipping anything out of Poland now.
I've got Germany down for me. All my packages to Germany are stuck, not moving.
Really?
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
I've had a few that are stuck that I shipped 3 weeks ago that still haven't arrived. I've just started, I have a couple Bowers because they have so much value that I'm emailing customers and asking them, hey, you know the situation better where you are. Do you want me to ship this, or you want us to wait a little bit? Because like a desk mat, it's not really that big a deal if it does get lost. I can ship another one, but I can't ship another Bower if it gets lost.
Yeah.
So I have a few that are sitting here just kind of waiting, just to make sure.
Yeah, so seeing some vendors already having to adjust a lot of their practices here, it looks like.
Yeah.
And I guess that makes sense because, you know, the situation is similar kind of where I am too. USPS still mostly full in effect here, but, you know, a lot of areas are finding it hard to receive some packages. I know I live in an apartment complex. My apartment complex office shut down entirely. So they don't actually even receive packages anymore. So if I have a package sent to me, I have no idea where it's going to go because they're just going to reject it. And so it's kind of unfortunate. And, you know, we've seen a lot of people already kind of start to lose some of their main sources of income. I know myself, along with Osiris, recently just got furloughed, basically. So, you know, we are still technically employed, but we're not working. We're effectively unemployed. So it's affecting a lot of the content creators as well, it seems.
Yeah, full time, baby. That's the thought process now. Max on deck,
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, people like us are trying to, you know, remain positive and trying to make the best use out of our time. And you know, just in cases like this, we're trying to stream more, put out more content, focus on keyboards more, focus on the community more. And I guess, you know, if anything, I guess that's a silver lining, if nothing else.
Yeah, I guess it builds 2 points out of that as well. First one being the community is going to be looking, you know, internally now as we enter lockdown periods, depending on where you are in the world. And, you know, we struggle to go out to work. We end up working from home a lot. We're going to be, you know, talking to each other more on Discord. People are going to be looking for that kind of sense of community, someone to be with effectively. I guess that's going to be something that we all see, and all in, you know, we've all got our own Discord servers. That's going to be something that we'll all see, you know, increase traffic and community. I guess question to all of you: how do we kind of foster that, and how do we make it the best community it can be?
Yeah, that's a really good time to lead into our next point. Is what measures can all of us take as various outlets in the community to actually better this entire experience, and, you know, try to get some kind of benefit out of this?
I think that a big thing that like a lot of people can do, especially people who maybe run a Discord that might not just be like a business side, but expanding. You know, the keyboard community is obviously by and large a keyboard community, but, you know, playing video games together, hanging out, talking. There's ways, you know, there are ways to watch movies together. There's all different types of things that, you know, the best part about this community is that it starts with keyboards, but it winds up being so much more very quickly after keyboards. And so it's not only expanding the community of keyboards, but just expanding actual friendships. So.
You can go watch Salvin stories on Instagram.
Nice plug. Nice. To be fair, they are great, Salvin. To be fair, your Instagram stories are amazing. You know, I am always rooting, especially when you've got your little one in there and he's helping you press the buttons for the machines and stuff. Yeah, it's always good fun.
Salvin should start streaming during all this time.
And just a quick point. Just a quick point. I want all of you to plug your stuff as much as possible during the stream, by the way.
Oh, you better be careful what you say, buddy.
Yeah,
we gotta get some fun out of this as well. It's obviously, you know, COVID's a very serious situation, and all of us, we are taking it seriously. But, you know, we got to try to lighten up a little bit where we can. So
I think
honestly,
I like the idea of expanding what you can do on your Discords.
Okay.
But I think a point to remember is, you know, whatever you can leverage that you have outside of the keyboard world, I think is very important as well. So for me, my profession is in learning and development. So I have this kind of finger on the pulse of all of these organizations that are putting out or making their for subscription content free. You know, how to stay happy when you're stuck in your home, or how to work from home more effectively. You know, if there's resources that you have a day job that you can leverage, or if you're seeing that in a social network, sharing that on our Discords with our Key friends as well, I think is something to remember also.
Quick shout outs to Jeff. He has been great the past couple of weeks. We both work in a similar industry, and so he's been there for me. So quick shout out for him. He's pulling through with what he's talking about.
And he just lost GMK Cafe in the tournament, so like, just
Yeah,
big
which-
shout out. We gotta really
To be
keep his
fair,
spirits
to be
high.
fair, losing to
It's a
8008 was completely okay with me. I said months ago I thought 8008 could be key set of the year. So if it does win and I lost to that, I am totally fine with this. So I ain't winning no Full Metal Bauer, but whatever. I guess I'll live.
Unfortunate.
No, it's been interesting seeing in our Discord specifically. If you want to join Mex on Deck Discord, I'll post a link. Sorry, you said plug, so I'm gonna plug.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Post
but,
whatever. Plug whatever you want in the chat.
It's been very nice seeing people kind of reach out and talk to each other about like, oh, you know, I'm working from home and I'm having to change my lifestyle now, and like, you know, there are people that are, you know, sending very nice things in Discord about the, you know, there's trying to keep each other kind of boosted up, and you know, like in my situation, I work in education, so I'm still getting paid, which is very nice, but obviously the government shut down the schools, so I've been trying to, you know, talk with other people and try and be active in Discord, because I'm in a very fortunate situation and not everybody is in that same situation. So I think trying to stay as positive as possible while also being understanding of other people's situations is key.
Yeah, I think just helping people in general get through this in any way that anyone can is always going to be pretty much the best outcome. And I think that, you know, we are a very wholesome community. Like, the keyboard community overall, it does have its weak points, it does have some bad apples, don't get me wrong. But overall, it is a very wholesome and helpful community. And I've already been seeing a lot of people, you know, offering to help in any way they can. And it's been really heartwarming to see, honestly.
It's not just on Discord. I'm getting tons of messages on Instagram as well from people asking, hey, how are you doing? Hold up. Be safe. And that's really something I appreciate as well. So many people are going out and just ask how you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out again to Lang. He just messaged me out of the blue the other day and said, hey, man, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Big cheesy love heart on it. You know, look, he's blushing now, but he did. This is true. This is true. He's such a good guy. Such a good guy.
Yeah, and like we love to see that kind of stuff. It's great. But let's talk a little about something a little bit more negative, if we can. Currency, exchange rates right now. Currency is pretty much tanking all over the world. It's not just localized to any one country these days. It seems to affect pretty much everyone now. And we're seeing, you know, pretty heavy exchange rate differences as well. And is this going to be a problem moving forward in the keyboard community? Because in recent history in the keyboard community, people have had a lot of money to spend. And we've been seeing, you know, so many GMK sets run, and all of them succeeding. We've been seeing so many boards run, and a lot of them succeeding. Some of them at really high price points, but still doing really well. People have had a lot of money to spend in the community. But it's pretty obvious that we're moving a little bit more towards a recession in the world. And people are just not going to have as much money to spend. And, you know, as designers, as vendors, as manufacturers, what do you guys think that's going to look like for you guys moving forward?
I think there's two sides to it for me. So go on, Dixie, you go first, man.
At this very moment, like yesterday, today, because the euro is getting closer to the dollar. So that at this very moment, that's actually kind of a plus for U.S. vendors. Because when we have to pay for GMK caps, we have to pay in euros, which means it actually cost us way more money because the euro was so far off from the dollar for a while. So it would cost way more than it really seemed like it would. So it's kind of helping get it a little bit closer.
I think the risk there, though, is, Dixie, is that with COVID, the US is about 2-3 weeks behind the rest of the world in terms of you know, scale. So, you know, I guess the message to US vendors is maybe buy now, because in a couple of weeks that position might change if the US
that's what I meant. Like today and yesterday, it's good, but by Monday, Tuesday, it could go to crap again.
It kind of was. Like 2 weeks ago, it was in a completely different position. It was the other way around. It was the dollar was becoming more interesting for us, and now it's well, it feels like gambling right now.
Yeah. Well, another horrible thing is that shipping out of the EU, so from GMK, the pricing has gone up. It's skyrocketed. So it's like all of these sets that are about to ship from GMK, they cost 3, 4, 5 times more to ship than it should at this very moment.
Yeah, and it's from everywhere. It's not just from Europe. We've
Yeah.
seen the same thing from Asia. It's scary.
Yeah, the shipping price that I've had for 100 boards, back end of last year when we did the IDB 60s, compared to now for something the same way, it's 3 times the price.
Yeah, so it's like that's money that no one ever planned for. So when I'm getting ready to have 7 pallets of 8008 shipped across the ocean, and it costs 5 times more than it should, I mean that's just that's a ton of stuff that you just never planned for that to hit you like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
some
there's
of
not really
these
anything you can do about it. It's
and
already
some
3
of
months
these-
delayed. So
Yeah, and some of these sets that are, really selling high qualities, like, you're not taking super high margins on them to begin with. So it's like, that really starts to affect how you can actually do your entire business. And, you like a lot of the vendors are these days, are a full-time vendor, and that's your livelihood. So it's like, how are we supposed to stabilize this for the vendors in our community? Like, we got to be supporting our community from the inside out, I feel like, all of us in this time. And
Yeah,
just
absolutely. I think-
being able to watch your favorite content creators, spare, if you like a vendor, then make sure you're buying from that vendor, and you like a manufacturer, make sure you're using that manufacturer, stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess
Pulling
where you
out.
can, but don't go spending money you don't have, especially
That-
in
yeah,
the
that
time
is-
as well. So
Agreed.
it's find the right balance for you guys, in public. But you're absolutely right. It is difficult for vendors now. It's like Dixie and the Necros and everyone else will be able to attest that during a group buy, guys they'll build in a risk cost, 5%, 10% in case things do go wrong, and you've got that kind of little bit there. But to Dixie's point, if something's 5 times more expensive all of a sudden, then you can't even quantify for that unless you took huge amounts of money additional up front, which may change the way we run group buys in the next couple of months. It could significantly impact pricing of things and the way we run things, and even the volume of things that sell as well. Limits might have to be in place and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I guess, yeah.
That might be a good segue into our next topic. Like, as vendors, what do you guys think you're gonna have to be doing for risk management, barrier for pricing for these markups for shipping and stuff, and is it even gonna be responsible and a good idea to run group buys, moving forward when people aren't gonna have the money to spare?
That's a good thought. I think it may cut down on the number of extras that are purchased, just because people have to kind of think a few months out, not really knowing if it's going to be as normal as it's been as far as money coming in, money coming out. So you kind of have to hold back a little bit so that you don't just screw yourself.
Yeah.
Which may end up affecting the community in 8 months from now, when there's barely any extras of these sets. When our plan at this point last year, we're like 5 months from now, I'll be able to get this many extras. You're kind of set back 6 months from like the goals and that you kind of had in your head as to where you could get.
I guess the other side of that, Dixie, is we've been talking, a lot of the vendors and a lot of the content creators, especially Huey, has been talking about post-MOQ world. We might be entering a period where if people don't have money to spend, MOQ suddenly becomes a big thing to hit again. If the number of people with disposable cash changes, that might be something that we have to look at. I know you guys on Mex on Deck have talked about, a post-MOQ world and how it might look before COVID-19 happened, how it might look in a year's time when we don't have to worry about something hitting MLQ, but that might change again. It might go back to where we were in 2015, 2016.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is you'll see some of these younger keycap vendors, the people who are just running their first couple sets, for instance, like a TX Keyboards here in the US, their US proxy running sets, or like MK Ultra is about to run Nord. I feel like that might take a step back. Vendors obviously like Dixie and Novel Keys, Canon Keys, the ones that have been doing it for a while, are going to be a little bit more secure. They're hitting higher numbers, so even if it drops 30%, they're still over MOQ. But those smaller ones that are running like smaller buys, running one every couple months, they might just say, hey, it's not worth it.
Yeah, and they may not have the capital behind them, to Dixie's point, to make sure they've got some funding there to make sure that, they can cover costs if things go wrong. Say the shipping's 3 times what it should be, or 3 times what we expect it to be now. They need to make sure they've got the capital available to do that. And if it's their first or second group buy, they might not have that available.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect many $99 base kits, at least in the next month or 2, maybe 3, just because I doubt there's many vendors that will be confident at this moment to price at 1,000.
Yeah, absolutely. And
the chance of hitting that's a little lower.
Salvan, looking at kind of keyboards now, how's this impacting the pricing of materials? Like, I know you must buy material by the ton, quite literally. Sometimes you'll order a ton of aluminium or whatever else you need to order. How's prices been affected in that kind of space?
At the moment, not much in actual material prices, but delivery times have been postponed significantly. We're talking from 2 to 3 weeks to months before getting new material in. And honestly, I do think that it's very early right now to say what's going to happen in the whole, not even keyboards, everything. Are people going to hold back all their cash in fear and not going to buy anything anymore? But that would probably negatively affect everything more than if people would just cautiously actually spend money to keep vendors afloat, to keep things moving, instead of just holding everything for yourself.
Yeah, because you're in a pretty unique spot in this community too. Like we were kind of joking about earlier, you actually do manufacture keyboards. Very few people in this community actually do the CNC work themselves. Most people just outsource that to somewhere, a factory in China. But it's a lot different for you because you're actually a keyboard enthusiast. You're a part of this hobby as well, just like the rest of us. So to have that tie-in is a really big deal for a lot of people, and I think that's one of the reasons we've seen a lot of people move towards using you as a manufacturer, because it's so much easier to interact with someone that's in the hobby versus someone that A, doesn't speak their language, and B, doesn't give a shit about keyboards. So I mean it's gonna be interesting to see how the manufacturers are affected by this as well. Do you expect to get much fewer orders for group buys moving forward as a manufacturer?
At the moment, it's really not looking like it. It looks things are still really moving very fast. I'm getting a lot of requests as well. You have to start denying requests as well now. But it's so short term right now that we can't say what's going to happen in the next 2 months, because it might have been completely blown over next 2 months. And there is going to be minimal backlash then. But if this thing keeps on for the next 6 months, it's going to be a completely different story.
Yeah. I think right now where it's kind of combined with the Chinese New Year delay that kind of just got pushed into now. So right now there might be tons of business of everybody who was just waiting till after Chinese New Year was over, but it might die off. So it's kind of hard to see what's the cause of.
I'm just hoping not too many people are going to start collapsing, if I could say it that way. Again, it's if you don't have the money to spare, don't spend it on keyboards. But if you do, actually buying something will support this community and will support the community's economy, because there is an economy in this community on its own. And if that dies down, we all die down.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's interesting. So soon, and not to promote, but just using it as an anecdote, right? Soon one of my sets will go live in interest check. Okay. And so I had a conversation with the vendor about, is this something that we, from an optics standpoint or from a just people don't have money standpoint, that we should postpone. And the conversation was very direct and blunt and said, look, if we stop running sets or we don't do this, we're not here. So it's this balance thing of you're trying to plan for, to your point, maybe 6 months down the road, everything's fine again. It'll take a while to bounce back, obviously more than 6 months in terms of global perspective. But, you try and plan for the future. You try and have some normalcy. If you have the money, support local. I am assuming that orders will go down, but, there's this balance. You either gamble and try and run a set or a board or something and have some normalcy and keep the income coming in so you don't collapse. Or you cut everything off, and that's probably more detrimental to a point you made earlier. I don't know what's best. I don't have a
just as an aside,
right?
Yeah,
But-
just as a side to that, it's interesting what you say there, because over in the UK we had a meetup that was planned for a week today, and we've obviously taken the decision to cancel that because it's just not safe for people to be around. And David and Yulia know about this because we were talking in depth about it a couple of weeks ago. The venue weren't going to refund us the amount we'd paid because that was their decision. So people from the community who'd put their own hard-earned cash up for the venue in advance of selling tickets for it, they were effectively going to be in the hole at that point. And one of the things that we've done is we've moved the event. We've finally agreed with the venue after London got locked down last week. They finally agreed that we can move the date of it, and we said to all of the community, said, look, we will refund your tickets, and we will happily sit in the black, with this amount of money until we can sell tickets again. And in that whole time, out of 200 tickets, we've had 2 ask for a refund, and we've actually had 5 people buy more tickets. So people are out there supporting the community. They're not, trying to. They appreciate the pains, the suffering, the lengths that people are going to try and keep the community afloat in those places, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about this community actually is so many of the users of this community have excess money to spare, and we've been seeing that with people buying so many things lately, so many projects happening, and so many people supporting them so thoroughly. And so many people in this community are excuse me, I'm probably getting sick as well. Active time for this stream. We lost Chewy. Anyways, but so many people have the excess money to spare, and so many people are able to work from home, or already were working remote, or can do their jobs remote. So it's going to be interesting to see the balance of people that are affected in this community versus a lot of the people that aren't actually affected in this community monetarily.
Well, and so to that point too, there's also unseen things that I haven't seen talked about a lot. Like for me, I commute 30 minutes a day. So there's excess gas money that I'm saving staying at home. I'm not eating out. So that's because I eat out 6-7 times a week, like for lunch or for dinner, right? My children aren't in childcare, which is $500 a week. So it's like there's kind of an offset for a fair amount of people where, I right now am in a very fortunate position where if I want to buy a set, I do, right? Like that's not the same for everyone. So I'm sure that the industry, our community will slow down in terms of buying, but I don't know if it's as much as originally I feared.
I
Just
hope
out
it's
of
not going to
that, right?
I think it depends on how long it goes on for.
Yeah.
I think a lot of you know that I still work my day job, and there was, right before this all started, the real idea of quitting my job and do this full time. At this point in time, I am considering, is that a good decision?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, I know the same. Sorry, my video is being super janky. I've had the same. Osiris and I have been talking extensively about, okay, well, how much could we do, and how much could we, afford to do, if one of us went part time, or both of us potentially went part time. Now, right now we're kind of both full time, but I've been talking about switching to substitute, which would, as opposed to being full time, to where that would free up a lot of time for me to be able to kind of pick and choose when I wanted to and wanted to not have to go into work and have a lot more time for X on deck. And at this point now, I'm kind of sitting here going, this next month and the next 6 weeks, I don't know. I was talking with Jeff last night about how their schools just said, come get your stuff, like it's over. And, I don't know what that means if that expands down into Texas. I don't know. Money should, in theory, be there, but at that point, it's like, substitutes don't get paid when they're working. I'm fortunate enough that if I am not working, I am still paid, but it's like, what if this happens again? Then I am just without a job. And if I am without a job, then I can't pay for health insurance. And then next thing I know, I don't have health insurance. So it's just a tough situation of like, this could be those are 1-year contracts. So it's like these next 3 months could make me make a decision that's going to have an effect until August of 2021. So
it's also something we haven't seen before. Like we've all been through terrorism. We know what that does, but we haven't been through something like this. where the whole planet is kind of getting locked down. Like China is finally coming out of it, but now we're all going into it.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
will
I guess we have
have
to
an
look on
effect
the-
on all of us for months, if not years to come, too.
Yeah, it's something we'll never get past. You know, it'd be like 9/11 and all the other big things that have happened in our lifetimes. You know, the Cold War before that, and you know, the war on terrorism and everything else. So it's going to be something that's going to be part of common lexicon for a long time.
On that, I kind of hope so, honestly, because like I know this is a whole bad thing, but the people that are actually like the amount of people that are let's call it dying, let's call it what it is relatively low. If this would have been SARS, that is as contagious as this thing is, we would have been in a whole different kind of shit show. So I'm kind of hoping this wakes up governments and countries to what something like this can do to tackle this better next time it happens.
Absolutely agree. I think what we should do, though, is we should look on the positive side of this, and I think there will be some positives that come out of this. One of the big ones, I think, will be that lots of people are now working from home, and traditionally big business has looked away and shied away from people working from home, and it's not been acceptable for a lot of companies. That's started to change a little bit over the past 3 to 4 years, but I think that this will prove to a lot of companies that working from home is absolutely acceptable for a lot of industries. Appreciate that it's not going to be for every industry. I know, Chewy, you know, working in education, that might not always be the case. But for a lot of other industries, it might change that for the better, and we might see the commute to work and actually going into the office might become a very different thing going forwards.
Yeah, I think the companies and keyboards, I guess going back to that, have an advantage that most of us don't have 20 employees. So when this is happening, we're not those companies that are trying to figure out, how do I keep these people paid? How do I keep this going? As far as us, we're lucky that our daily life hasn't changed at all because we already stayed at home. We already never left. We just keep doing the same thing. The only thing that's affecting us is if things are delayed coming in. So for us, we just been continuing to do what we always did. And orders have been coming in at the same speed as they always did. So as far as is the community slowing down, it may, if this continues 2 or 3 months and people still aren't getting paid and more people are getting laid off, but at this moment, it doesn't seem too much like it's slowing down. Like, I guess for shilling here, like we're supposed to. The Bauer B stock that I just listed 4 hours ago has over 600 entries for a $500 keyboard. So, and I literally had a paragraph that says, "We know what's going on with financially. Do not be dumb. Be responsible and don't buy this if you don't have the money." And still 500 people. So as of the moment, we're still kind of kicking. I mean, but at the end of April, it could be completely different.
I think the one benefit, though, that could be overlooked is this community is very much an excess. This hobby is an excess. You don't need $500 keyboards.
Yeah.
You don't need. You can go get a $20 Amazon keyboard, and it will type letters on the screen for you. It might sound and look and feel terrible, but it will function what you need. So this hobby is already something that is in the excess. So it might prevent people. It might prevent the people that, you know, we're all very deep in the hobby. We have multiple keyboards. We have to explain the reasoning why we have multiple keyboards to a lot of different people that are not in the hobby. But this is a hobby based on having expendable income and having money that they deem worthy of spending this much on it. So that's why, like, it doesn't surprise me for that now and for the next, couple months that I don't know if group buys will be affected in short term, but I could see that being a thing long term of, now I don't need. I could see mech market kind of exploding soon because I need money for
That's
this.
what I was about to say.
For that,
Yeah.
so.
And will we see the prices going down on mech market because people need to get rid of it quicker? I just got laid off. I need to sell these 5 keyboards. I'm not trying to flip them for 2,000. I'll settle for 100 over group buy price so that I can get that money quick. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing that.
Interesting.
Maybe, yeah. I think if you were buying to flip, now's the bad time to flip, Dixie. I think you're right. Yeah.
So I want to go back to something that you said, Jay, or maybe it was Salvin. I forgot. My brain is done. But when you
because we
talk
sound
about-
and look so alike, right? I look just as handsome as myself, and it's the Norse god himself sat there. I mean, look at him.
Uh-oh. Or
I'm
maybe-
pretty sure that my internet just crapped out. So talk to someone
back.
else.
No, you're back, Jeff. You're back.
Okay.
You're back, Jeff.
You're back, Jeff. Go on, man.
Okay.
Nope.
Probably not.
Nah, you good. Go on, dude.
Okay, so, but I think it was important to point out that you talked about the Cold War, you talked about other things. As we focus on all this negative and we're concerned what happens in the future, the sun will rise tomorrow. Like, you know, maybe keyboards looks differently and how we do business, but like this will end at some point. We don't know when, but I think we should make sure that we convey the positive message that we are in fact still in a situation where the bad times will end. You know, we will walk out of our homes again someday. It's fine. But anyways.
I mean, it could, if we're trying, I mean, to look on the bright side of possibilities, it may allow people that are in the current state of designing things, they feel like they might have a little more time because I'm not trying to get my board out before this board comes out. I'm not rushing it. Everything's kind of at a standstill, kind of at a slowdown. So maybe we can get some better quality boards that otherwise would have been rushed out, and because you have a few months to kind of put a little more, you're just sitting in your house all day. So you can zoom in real far and get that real detailed thing perfect. Because I've actually talked to a lot of designers who are like, I have a lot of time now to kind of perfect this thing that I otherwise was having to do when I got home from. So obviously that's not a priority in life, but
yeah, but more free time, right? I guess the other side that we might see of that is if designers that exist today have got more time to refine their designs, and the rest of the community has got more free time, are we going to see more people try and take up that designer mantle and come out with ideas? And are we going to see an influx of interest checks? For example, when keycap renders went live, 6-12 months ago, when Pingu set that site live, all of a sudden we had 15 GMK interest checks nearly a day at one point. There was I think Brian and I did a stream, Brian, where I think there was 35 GMK sets in a week, which was just crazy, all because one tool had gone live. Now we've got all of the community who have great ideas sat there at home with a lot more free time. They don't have to commute anymore. They may or may not have work. Do we think that's going to increase the sheer volume of interest checks and people designing stuff for the community?
I think interest checks could totally increase, but the amount of failed interest checks is to increase because
sure.
How many vendors are looking to go? I mean, we already know, it's not a secret that GMK is backed up, and they're backed up even further, and vendors are backed up, and they're not, they're many months out from being able to run anything. So we might see a lot of interest checks, but unfortunately, and this is where I could see, we saw some interest checks die with keycap renders. Based on people, I guess we always call it the kind of the dibs mentality. People are trying to call dibs and they just die and then it fizzles out. I could see that being a thing that happens more and more, where it's like people are making these designs, but then no vendors wanting to pick them up because they don't know what their next 3 to 4 months are going to look like, and then it fizzles out. And
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
more options coming out, but vendors being more cautious. So it's like.
I'm getting more requests from designers though. I have more people that are, I am sitting at home, I made this, can you look at the design? I'm already noticing that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm seeing
my
a lot.
keyboard fab is backed up. Like I'm in a queue, which like I said, it's still stemming off the beginning of Chinese New Year. They would have already had a queue when they come back from Chinese New Year.
My queue is
but
building
now
the
it's
same
like
thing, so
doubled, yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Like, so I've been, my original plan going into this year was to rerun the Baka in an open group buy in April, and that's not happening even a little bit.
Yeah.
Because at this point, because there's no point in me rushing it. There's no time. I have people that will ask, "Hey, when is this thing?" At this point, I can't take that big of a risk, and if like what Dixie says, if shipping somehow quintuples overnight, that means that I would literally wind up taking a huge loss on a board and not be able to, and that's something that would affect not only me but my wife, and it's just a situation where it's like there's no rush. I feel like designers, if I can say anything, especially to someone who, maybe running it not through a vendor, not through a vendor, either one, just be patient, because there's no point in trying to rush something that could very well get delayed for 6 months.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and you don't want to screw yourself. Like if you're not a business like Chewy and just kind of running something as a passion project, it could literally screw your life if you have 20 boards that end up costing you $10,000 to ship. Like when you're a business, you have contingency, you have money. Even if you take a loss, you're not literally negative in your bank. If you're a person, not a lot of, I mean, I'm sure there's a fair amount of people that don't have $10,000 just sitting in their bank account. So it's like, I've always been scared when I see people just jumping into deep that quick. I'm like, you could literally ruin your life if you don't think about it enough. And I also had a board I wanted to already have launched by now, but it will not be happening for a bit because of the delays.
Yeah. My thing is, I hope we see in this time, like if there is stuff coming up, I hope we see some innovations. We've had the last couple of months some really cool boards, some really cool ideas make it into interest check, and hopefully that continues, and we get some people who have been, hey, I wanted to do this design that maybe was a little bit out there. Let's just see what it looks like. Maybe this is a little bit crazy, a little bit different. So
yeah, just a quick shout out, a little bit of camera trouble from us, but I think everyone's still here audibly, so sorry about the technical difficulties,
I'm
guys.
trying to figure out.
No, Jeff disappeared as well, and it's now meant that Salvin's camera on the stream is half off, because Jeff's actually in our video call twice now. There's 2 Jeff screens.
Jeff, please, you gotta close out your other one.
Jeff.
How? It's not open.
Let me see if I can.
Can you kick it?
I'm gonna kick it. I can kick you, yeah. But no, let me have a look. Just.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm driving that struggle bus.
This is going surprisingly well, considering we have 9 people on a live Twitch stream right now. Things could be a lot worse.
We got 45 minutes in before.
Hey, we're back now. Yeah. Everyone's in place too. Oh my
Everyone's
God.
in place. I did want to touch on something about like the money standpoint. As someone who literally got furloughed yesterday, basically like, hey, you're laid off, but we want you back. We just don't know when. It is nice that is happening, right? The furlough is happening, because it's not we are cutting your position. When we start getting into situations where it is a 100%, hey, our company's downsizing by 30%, that's when it'll really make an effect. So I think even if it does have a effect on the community as far as group buys, things like that, it's going to be short-lived. Hopefully, if it does get better and people get their jobs back, we may be in 6 months later, everything's fine.
Yeah. Yep. It's just a matter of what happens in the meantime, I suppose. And now,
I think that.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I think the main thing is that, as we've said a few times today, keeping the vendors going and keep supporting the vendors, keep supporting the content creators, keep supporting the rest of the community, your friends. One of the things that someone said to me that really resonated was, if you're in a discussion, you don't have to always agree to be friends and stay friendly with each other. Just because you disagree doesn't mean to say you need to fall out, and taking different sides doesn't mean to say that you have to have an argument with someone. So if you're in Discord chat and things start to feel a little bit heated sometimes, just be calm and think things through as well. So got to be good to each of the guys as we go through this.
That's right. Tensions are high everywhere. Nobody is really necessarily happy about this, and I think it is affecting all of us on some level, in some way, in some format. So we're all trying to get through this together, and let's just try to keep that in mind, everyone. And with that, let's move into a Q&A. How about that, guys? Sound good?
Yeah.
Do a bit of a Q&A for half an hour or so.
Yeah, so guys, if you're watching, you want to ask a question, if you tag at TalkClack, so Brian and I can see it, and then put who your question is to, so whether that's to Chewy, Salvin, Jeff, or whoever, and then ask your question straight after that, we can make sure we're asking the right person. If it's to everyone, just mention to all, and we'll ask the question that way. So guys, get your questions in chat.
Hey, I got a question. Why does everybody have those Dixie beer coolers and I don't?
What is that? What is that about?
Fired,
I'll tell
man.
you, why does everybody have Salvoon caps and I don't? There's the real
Oh my god.
Yeah. Big Salvin shout out. Here's a whole bunch of Salvin caps.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough to have the Dixie beer cozy, but I got a Dixie coaster still. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I'm drinking. I can be repping Dixie at some point.
I just do airdrops over some streamers every
Yeah.
now.
I legit use the Dixie coaster every day, and I have since I got it like 6 months ago.
It's good to hear.
This is actually the only koozie I own. So
Nice.
I own this one, and I own a koozie that when we went to the Houston meetup. We went to a bar that's like stolen from this bar, and I'm like, yep, 100%.
Nice, like that.
All right,
So you know what to do.
I'm just surprised it takes you guys that long to drink a beer that you need a koozie.
Right? Right?
Whoa,
Let's be
that's
honest
a good
here.
point.
That's a good
I'm
point.
just mad that Dixie does not offer pounders.
Yeah, they're pounders because they're 16
Pounders.
ounces. So
Well, this is 19.2 because that
What?
someone made that decision. Right? Yeah, a 19.2 ounce.
19.2.
okay, so that we can call a tall boy because it's not quite a silo, but
Yeah.
Why do you get the tall boys? I don't even drink beer. I'm drinking Coke Zero. Okay.
I have a sparkling water that's lime and watermelon from Aha.
Aha, that's a great brand name.
Aha.
is that a step up from the Buble?
The bootleg. Oh my
I think
god.
it's very much like the Keeb community and vendors. You know, for certain things, maybe you prefer a certain vendor. For the lime watermelon, Aha is best.
Screw you,
For cucumber
Lag.
mint,
Spindrift for
cucumber
life.
mint. Oh, Spindrift is fantastic.
Spindrift for life.
For cucumber mint, the Target brand is the Jam. Passion fruit, LaCroix takes the cake. You know, everybody's got their thing, right?
Sure.
Lang,
sure.
see, you're talking, but like, my family is from Dixieville, and out in Dixieville, everything is just called Coke.
I know.
Either you
And
drink
it's
Coke
awful.
or you don't.
It's either Coke or sweet tea, and then if you ask what kind of
That's what's in our
Coke,
fridge.
All right. We already have quite a few questions rolling in, so I'm gonna try to navigate this a little bit for you guys. Depleted Vespine starting us out, asking what kind of showdown in interest checks and group buys do you actually expect to happen, and for how long?
Slow down, not
Oh,
shut
slow down. Sorry. Wow.
Dang.
I was like,
I was like, that doesn't make sense at all. Oh,
I'm
okay.
okay with
I'm just
showdowns,
dumb.
though.
Make madness to decide what actually goes into group buy. That's what we need. Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be really
that would be
interesting.
such a good idea.
No, it would be terrible. It'd be brutal.
Awesome.
But
Can you imagine?
it might be really
If
good
you
though.
vote, you must.
That'd be the
purchase.
greatest idea. It's like
I
I'm gonna
mean-
put both. It's like as a vendor, you go up and go, I'm gonna put both your interest checks in a vote for
Head
on
to
my
head.
Instagram, and whoever
Yeah.
gets the most
Dude.
votes wins.
Modern
Drop
goes
already
round 2
has-
and minimal round 2. Whichever one wins goes. The other one is thrown away.
Yeah, never gets run again. That's it. It's dead.
Drop already has their voting thing. They'll just do it on Geekhack, and the ones that lose just get deleted.
Yeah, they're
Like
just-
don't
the entire
regret.
thread's gone.
That's a good idea. Geekhack does not have the ability to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Know this
controversial,
right
but
now.
the Geekhack website is a little bit outdated to do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's
So what was
let's
the actual question?
yeah, let's try to get to the actual question, guys, since we do have a couple vendors here on stream. So, what kind of slowdown in interest checks and group buys do you expect to see, and for how long? What about?
Let's see an increase of interest check, but a slowdown
Yeah.
of actual.
Let's let the Necros answer a question here.
Yeah.
Well, production definitely. I don't really know if interest checks will be slowing down, but production is definitely being hit hard.
Yeah, like we kind of talked about earlier, with so many people working from home and having potentially more free time, we might see a surge in interest checks just for people putting out their ideas now that they actually have the time and the capabilities. So, might see a lot more interest checks,
There's
but
nothing to keep you from.
might not see
Yeah,
a
there's
lot
no
more.
reason
fact-
they're not putting an interest check.
I know that both keycaps and keyboards are going to be impacted. Like JMK has been before this been backed up, but now, even though they have a new machine started up, they have employees sitting at home, so that isn't helping.
Yep.
Yeah. for sure. I'm sure all of us have pretty much seen it at this point. So many companies that even you might not even be remotely affiliated with are sending you emails about what they're doing to,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
quarantine their employees and what they're doing to help their community and stuff like that. Does GMK also send out those emails to you guys?
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen any such mail.
Because I'd be curious to see like what a GMK official update would be on COVID-19.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything official. I mean, I've had discussions with them when they're just letting you know that this is also affecting us, just so that I would know. But there was no like official.
Yeah, they've been very conversational in emails, but they've not sent anything public out that I've seen. But a couple of email chains I've had with them, they've been very much a case of this is how our current workforce is, and this is how people are at home and that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think most of them, 90% of the ones that we all get, are just PR stuff. It's like I don't think anyone's actually sitting at home and going, "How is QuickBooks handling this?" So it's like
I got an email
just
from
like,
from Intuit just the other day about this.
yeah, it's like you're
Yeah,
an
right.
internet company, so I'm sure. I mean, but it's just like we need to do this. We're a huge company. GMK is just kind of a manufacturer, not even really that much of a forward-facing company, even though they have Unikey, but they're mainly middleman kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Tal's been asking, where's Apiary? Not here, is where she is. I can only get so many people on stream, and this is the ragtag bunch that I put together.
Hey,
and I'm happy about it. Mechanics.
What about this? This is the Avengers. This is the
This is the
top sport,
Avengers.
yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
You've already got Fat Thor, guys. All right, come on.
Exactly, and Salvin's fit, in shape Thor, right? Look at him. He's,
does that
got
make
both
me
Thors.
Loki? Since
No,
I have
you're-
a long.
No, you're like
100%
you're Captain America, Dixie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he's budget Captain America. He's Captain Alabama.
Captain Alabama, yeah.
That's amazing.
Captain America.
No, it's Captain.
All right. Mechanics doesn't have a question, but he just wants to say, hey all, just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for doing the stream. Great insights, and I completely agree. Thank you so much for all of you joining us. It's definitely amazing.
And thank you, Mechanisk, for making the feel.
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, Mechanist, a Norwegian keyboard company that's been doing some amazing things, as usual. I like Rusto asking, question to everyone, if there was a war, which keyboard among keyboard enthusiasts, if there is a war, which keyboard among keyboard enthusiasts, who would you partner up with, and what keyboard would you use as a weapon? Alright, so a kind of a post-apocalyptic, or I guess war-torn world, in which you have keyboard enthusiasts and keyboards to use as weapons. Who do you partner up with, and what do you use?
I don't have an answer, but before that user's name is I like Rust 2.
Oh, okay, sorry. I struggle with
So I'm
usernames
gonna go
sometimes.
ahead,
My apologies.
I'm gonna go ahead and draft El Baron before anyone else.
That guy's
Yes.
pretty
Take Luke.
pretty bulky. Yes.
Yeah, he's a good guy though.
The easy choice is Quakeums, because our combined weight could break most things.
You
I
underestimate
like
just
it.
how much I weigh, sir.
And I would choose a Sirius because I could splinter it and use it as a slashing type of weapon.
Wow. Geo in chat says the Canone for a weapon. That'd be a pretty good one. That one has a lot of sharp
Yeah.
edges.
So-
on
I
it.
was with the Canone, yeah.
My
I would
my
partner with Salvin and
Yep.
make a
Make
metal
anything.
keyblade.
Right?
Make a metal keyblade, because I literally
I'll
would have
just
blades.
Yes.
partner with Dell Rubber Domes to scare people away.
Hasn't Linus confirmed you could kill someone with Dixie's power?
Yes, it has been confirmed
On
in a video
video.
on YouTube. So
The Bower isn't really like a weaponized kind of board, though. Like it has so many like smooth,
brass one's
rounded
pretty heavy.
corners.
With the brass keys, it does. I mean,
Yeah, I suppose with the brass.
Salvin brass keycaps.
I think there are better weapons, or better keyboards for weapons than the Bower. The Canone
he's got
definitely be
one
one of them.
that's
The Fiel,
think
pretty
something's
heavy, has some
Yeah,
pointy
would be
edges.
rough.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good as well.
I
Maybe
would
you can
not
have
be
like
excited to get hit in the
you
teeth
can have like
with the-
small sandwich acrylic macro pads that you like throw a shuriken and stuff. Like I want the full outfit. I do like a belt and like a cape.
Hey, Rama's coming out with a belt buckle, so we could use.
Oh
that.
my god!
I weirdly want to
Nice.
buy it
Yeah.
so bad.
It does honestly look kind of cool.
I want it.
The true
we-
play is to partner with Salvin and just have him make all these crazy ideas.
I think that's
Yeah,
probably
right.
the default here.
What we should all do is we should all just go to Salvin's, camp in his warehouse, and just go from there, right?
Take
Rapid
turns watching
prototyping.
his son.
Yeah.
You know, it's good.
Yep. Eskimo Joe says, I have no question, but I love you all. Thank you so much. Feeling the love
Thanks,
from
man.
you.
Sweetness.
Love that. Zambamon donates a bunch of bits and says, Dixie, you look beautiful tonight. Thank you for the bits, Zambamon. I appreciate that very much. And to all of you that have donated bits and subs. We haven't been calling them out because obviously we have some pretty serious discussion. We don't want to be disrespectful to all of our guests that are taking the time out of their days to join us here on this very janky but fantastic stream. So definitely appreciate all of those bits and subs, guys. Very, very much. Gawk asking if this is a beard stream. Yeah, this is pretty much a beard stream. A lot of us have facial hair here.
Yeah, Lang's is the best.
Lang with clearly the best. Yes, absolutely.
You could.
Or Yulia clearly with the best
Yeah.
facial hair here, as we can all see. Fantastic. All right, Puzjo. I never know how to pronounce that username. I'm sorry.
Pusher.
Pusha, okay. For whom of all of you is the keyboard business you do your main income? And if it were to crash, would you have a fallback? All right, so to the full-time vendors out there, do you have a fallback if you lose that main source of income?
Well, it would definitely have us restructure, but we would have a fallback. We're also active in web development and other ICT-related businesses. So we would have that as a fallback, but it would still require complete restructuring because we've been actually recently started hiring people. So that would be.
Yeah, it's probably the same with me. Like me and my wife are both full time at Dixie now, so we no longer have other jobs. I do graphic design, but I completely have stopped even doing freelance on the side just because I don't have enough time. But I could go back to that. My wife worked in medical billing, so we would have to go find something. So it wouldn't be like a nice, easy thing to.
Yeah, but it seems
just
like a
to
lot of
go
the
get, 'cause
vendors
finding jobs
have,
right now
have
is
skill
not
sets.
the easiest thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems though, like, thankfully a lot of the vendors that we have in this community do have, previous skill sets, and they often came from jobs that were actually quite decent and quite stable. So, it's probably pretty good and pretty easy to say that a lot of these vendors do have decent fallbacks. Not all of them.
Yeah, like 159 said, I'll just sell my yacht, That'll
yeah.
last us a while.
For sure.
Dixie yacht.
I'll buy your Datsun if it comes to Dixie. I'll import that over to the UK.
Okay.
Mike Click says louder, Dixie. Has Dixie been quiet this whole time? I have everyone turned up pretty much as loud as I can.
I think he's probably just so many people.
I'm going to turn up Dixie a little bit more on my end. So sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad. Vogon PT asking, what amount of time are the vendors expecting from original time of delivery at the moment? For a group buy that end on January, how much time delay are they expecting? So maybe additional delays to products that have already ran, I think is the general.
I've seen like for GMK like a month, 2 months. Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of hard to predict now because they're added machines. There's people stopping. But yeah, 1 month seems to be definitely already a good offset.
Yeah, it might even be more than that. Because like even when you get a quote from GMK, they give you their estimated timeline, and that timeline's been growing and growing since July. Every quote I would get, it would be another 2-3 weeks added on, and then like 8008, 9009, they were already delayed past that estimate on the quote before this thing even hit, and now this thing's delayed even more. So it's like I don't really know, to be honest. There's too many variables that are constantly changing.
Yeah.
So
and those sets were 6 or 7 months ago too. So
yeah, that's why I've started putting quarters as estimates instead of specific months, so that it gives it a little bit of a cushion. Which I've always been in the camp that I overestimate instead of, so that if it's early, it's exciting, but if it's late, it's still on time. But now it's even like I would rather give a 3-month estimate than a 1, just because it's just easier with customer support.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think a lot of the group buys that ran, towards the back end of last year, if they were, we talked about GMK and the keycap vendors, but if you talk about, manufacturing that's taking place in China, a lot of that's catching back up to some extent, but it does mean a lot of it's going to be delayed going forward as well. As Dixie mentioned earlier on, a lot of those Chinese manufacturers have had a backlog from people submitting over Chinese New Year and before that, as well as then having the whole COVID-19 breakout and having to, be locked away. Now, they are still manufacturing stuff and they are catching back up, but I think everything is going to have a minimum of 1 to 2 months added, if not 3 to 4.
And then once it arrives to the whoever's supposed to be shipping it, they might have 4 things that'll arrive at once that they originally planned to have spaced out. Like I always space all my stuff out to where I don't have 2 things arrive at once. And now we possibly are going to have 2 to 3 key sets show up at the same time. So it's like, even if they get delivered to us, we got to ship them in order we ran them.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely looks like there is going to be expected delays on pretty much everything for the foreseeable future, at least. The Pokemon Kid asking... Sorry, go on, Disky.
Oh, I was just agreeing. Sorry,
okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. The Pokemon Kid asking, do you think the U.S. vendors will look back to U.S. production for caps more, like Signature Plastics? That's a really good question. Will you start supporting, your own country and not outsourcing the work to other countries, basically?
Hey, I brought a few SP sets the last year.
I wasn't targeting you. I was just saying in general.
I think the thing with Signature Plastics is that the DCS and the DSA ranges have always had shorter lead times anyway. And I don't know how badly, this is impacted, but they're in Washington State, and that's one of the biggest, hardest hit states in the US right now. So I would expect that they're going to even slow down as well. True. And I don't think that SA sets have come down under 10 months. Dixie, you might have a better idea. But...
No, it's still long. Like Magic City was only 75 sets, and it still took 9 months.
Yeah.
So it's like,
this might diversify a lot of things, though. Like, even Keyquilt is now buying their own machines, starting to do their own production partially. And I'm seeing more and more people moving parts of the stuff they make to different manufacturers just to diversify and guarantee
just so you
stuff out.
Don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to be changing in the future for all this stuff, and I'm guessing that's going to happen for key sets as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are some key sets that manufacturers that we don't use anymore as well. Devlin, for example, they're out there. They're UK based. We haven't used those since 2014, 2015 group buys. I can't remember when the last one ran through them, for example. So, there are other manufacturers out there. So.
Yeah. 159 says Necro's owl, please. Do you guys have a pet owl?
Yeah.
They do.
Oh my lord. That's amazing. All right.
What?
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through some more questions here.
It's Medieval Genius said his brass Hyper 7 for the weapon. Yeah, he bought one of the Hyper 7s in the group buy, and he's made a brass case for it. It's ridiculous. It's got this huge solenoid in it as well, so every time you hit a key, it goes thunk, thunk, thunk. It's amazing. Love it.
Its logo says lose keebs or lose beer, as a question.
Oof.
Lose beer.
Lose beer.
Yeah, I've already pretty much given up
because
beer mostly.
Still liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I still got whiskey, baby.
I've always preferred whiskey to beer, anyways. So that's an easy choice for me. I'll give up. The beer.
Use a keyboard every day. I don't drink every day.
The thing for half of us, it's not even a choice because your living depends on keyboards.
Yeah.
I don't even drink beer.
All right, here's the owl.
Oh my god.
That is. Okay, that's
how cool is that?
That is automatically the best part of this stream, and I cannot be
flexed on
any more
harder
happy.
Than Dixie eating a fruit by the
when
foot.
she's gonna poop, that's gonna be the best part.
Yeah, she's gonna poop all down his shoulder. Yeah.
that makes the stream even better.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love it. All right, another question here. This one from Hue. Vendors, do you feel like your individual governments are doing enough to protect your businesses? That's another great question.
I mean, I can answer that from a UK perspective. The government here is doing amazing. They're protecting workers up to 80%, so I'll be fine covering people's salaries from that perspective, which is really good. They're offering free business loans with no interest for 12 months. They're offering VAT payments deferred for 3 months as well, so we don't have to pay VAT. And for anything that we sell for the next few months, there will be no tax on it as well. So in the UK, we have to pay VAT on top of anything imported. We also have to pay tax on anything that we sell in terms of profit at the end of the year. We do kind of a ledger whatever profit is, we pay tax on that. That's been deferred for 12 months as well. So absolutely, they're being really supportive, and all of that's literally available from Monday coming. So my Monday is going to be spent looking at all the documentation and paperwork for that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable, things considered. What about you, Dixie? Is our U.S. government doing enough for your business?
Well, like I said earlier, us personally haven't really been hit that much as far as our daily life because we're only 2 people. So I haven't personally even looked into it because I'm sure there is something available, but I'm not going to take it because we don't need it. So like, even if I technically could somehow get whatever they were allowing us to get, I haven't even looked into it just because we're fortunate enough in how we're sitting that we don't need it. So I really don't know.
That's fair. What about
I guess it's there if you do need it though, Dixie, right? That's the thing. When it comes to if it comes to down the time, then it's always worthwhile knowing what's there for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what about you guys over there in the EU as well?
I haven't really looked into it. I know the government is doing some stuff, like not having to pay for electricity, gas bills for a month, but they seem to be focusing the industries that are actually impacted. So I don't think we're a part of that yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things where credit card payments you can skip a month or 2 if you need to. I don't think that's government, but
they've been talking about postponing taxing and also loans from banks. Necro.
Interesting.
I've heard. I'm not sure it's gonna happen. They've been talking about it, but like you don't have to, like, your loan gets pushed back 2 to 3 months to kind of buffer.
To keep cash flow going, right?
Yeah.
I believe the U.S. possibly pushed back the April 15th tax deadline.
For income tax, I think, to June.
Yeah, I had already paid. So, but that's definitely a big deal, seeing that a lot of people may not have realized how much they owed until it was too late.
I think that the deadline is the same, but not for payment. I think filing is still the same date, but paying is pushed back. Yeah.
From what I've seen in chat, there's a lot of places putting in measurements, to protect the economy. So depending on how that holds up, the impact might really not be that bad. There's always going to be impact, but it might be very contained.
Well, and thankfully we're so connected now, right? Like if this happens in 1985, this is a very different conversation than
for sure
2020.
You can very quickly share anything you need to share.
Well, you wouldn't be talking then.
Well, obviously we wouldn't. Thank you for pointing that out.
Oh man, Tronics with a slightly off-topic question, but he's asking, any news from GMK to the vendors to increase their quality again?
They're working
I
on
know. Yeah, they are aware of everything, all this random stuff people post on Reddit and Discord that people just post, and these giant arguments break out. They are aware of all of those things, and they are working to make sure it doesn't happen in the future. There are a couple things that I specifically brought up to them because I was like, hey, I have some sets in production. I want to make sure this doesn't happen to the ones that I'm going to be delivering, and they had already known about it. So it seems they're either lurking in the background or they know what's going on. So they're not just completely unaware of things.
Yeah.
They're planning to make a statement about this. They're supposed to have done it already, but with the current situation, they kind of postponed that. But they're about to make a statement about the reports of the quality and stuff.
Yeah. I like Rust 2. I got that username right this time. If the keyboard community were to freeze for a bit, what would be your go-to hobby/community? Nice. That's kind of a positive question.
Cars. My other one is cars.
Yeah, I'm a gamer. I like to play games. I like to watch anime. I like to eat, and I like whiskey.
Animal Crossing just came out, so that's keeping.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've been
Animal
tempted to buy a
Crossing.
Switch just for that, to be honest.
I'm
if you can
Team
find
Doom
one
here.
If you can
yeah,
find
if I can
one.
find one. I
The
spent an
Animal
hour
Crossing-
looking earlier on.
The Animal Crossing Switch is so awesome.
Oh wait, there's a limited edition.
There's
for
a
it, is there?
limited edition
Like,
Animal Crossing Switch, and it's fantastic.
Right, that's gone straight to the top of my buy list then.
Yeah, if you could find one, they're kind of tough to find right now. It seems.
Okay.
I'd probably just watch TV shows. We're hardcore TV addicts with a huge backlog from lately, so.
You're a car fan as well, though, aren't you, Dixie?
Yeah, and the property we just bought to move our business into happened to come with a full-sized like car lift, like
Nice.
oil change places have. So that's gonna be really fun. So maybe that would get me back into working on cars.
It's pretty sweet. I'd be like Brian, going to gaming, pick up maybe join an Overwatch team again.
That's what I would try to do. I would try to join a competitive.
That's what I
Overwatch
would
team.
want to do.
I would probably like
But I
stream
wouldn't.
games and stuff like that. Not that would
Or
really.
maybe I'd be a streamer.
Yeah. You
What
used
about
to
you guys,
dabble a
Necros?
little
What
bit,
would you do?
Dixie.
That's all the rage these days.
It is indeed all the rage these days. You're not wrong.
What about you guys, Necros? What are your other hobbies outside of keyboards?
Yeah, I think most people in our groups know that we're big gamers every evening, so that will definitely be the fallback.
Fair enough.
Weirdly
Salvin?
enough, nothing
Salvin?
with animals.
Nothing with animals. Fair enough. And Salvin, what about yourself? what would you do?
I'm just gonna keep playing with my machines.
yeah, yeah.
That's
all
like
I
the
do.
best outcome though. Like if you're that passionate about what you already do, like it doesn't really get much better than that, right?
If
It's massive fun.
if you want to start looking at doing some car parts for me, I might have some stuff to send your way.
Uh-oh.
Like honestly, I'm not that afraid of it, the whole thing, because these machines are so universal.
Yeah.
I'd love it if it be making keyboards forever. Because
Hey, me and Jake could open up some custom Z parts.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do that.
Salvin can make them.
Our next question comes from Rabbit Sensei asking, "What's everyone's favorite group buy at the moment?" Everyone's favorite group buy. What is even running?
GMK
right now?
Luna.
ones that I'm part of.
I have to-
GMK Botanical.
GMK Botanical that you can buy at mex.dixiemec.com.
Oh, wow!
Nice.
I like it. I like it.
For EU folks, you can also buy it at my keyboard as well.
You guys are getting outshilled by by the rest of the game. I don't know. As far as key sets, I think Botanical is probably my favorite thing running right now. I also really like Cat Atlantis, if that's still running. But Lunar also, GMK Lunar also looking very good. What keyboards are running right now?
Bauer B Stock's open right now. And Vickery auction on Tuesday.
Shout out to GMK Forge, by the way. GMK just launched
Yeah,
today.
15 bunnies. Yeah, it looks good. Have you brought the days forward for that, Dixie? I thought it was later on in the month.
Yeah, I had it next Saturday, but I moved it up just because we're trying to move, and I didn't need 12 keyboards that are all ready to go and ready to ship, just sitting there, just literally for no reason. So I
Taking
just
up
moved
space.
it up.
Yeah, got you. Cool.
A
Yeah.
lot of people are saying the Jewels, the Zambumon,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Rama Jewels. That's a very beautiful keyboard. Definitely one.
That gold bottom looks so nice.
Oh yeah, the Oro. The pricing is
Yeah.
pretty reasonable as well, actually, for everything that you get. Honestly. Yeah, so the Jewels potentially a good one right now. I can't really think of anything else that's running. To be totally honest with you guys.
No, I think the one I'm most excited to get is the Juby from Pona as well. I've got that coming. That's looking good. Been waiting for that for a long time.
Very nice. Mike Clicks with a pretty long question, it looks like. First, to everyone on the screen, you've made one of the best communities to hang out in. You've taught me well. Thank you. My circumstances now dictate I won't be spending any money on keeps for the foreseeable future. I've always felt this is a fairly affluent community, though. Besides delays, do you foresee a lot of folks cutting back on purchases? I guess that's for Dixie and Necro. So yeah, we've kind of talked about this already, but we can address it quickly again.
I think short term, not so much. Long term, we're going to have to see. It also depends on, of course, if we're impossible to ship, then people will obviously be wary of that and try searching for other solutions. But as long as we can keep shipping, I think not in the immediate.
Yeah, things seems pretty stable for the moment.
Well, what's interesting, and I'm sure you guys on Top Clack have thought about this because we've talked about this, is a lot of money that content creators get literally is extra money. You're supporting them by saying, hey, what is important to me and I see value in it. That's because there's not a physical product that you're buying. That's like the first thing to get cut down on. I know if I'm having if I was having a tough month, I would stop subscribing for a month or two to a lot of different people, because it's like I can still watch them. The service that's provided is free, but that's something that's kind of like, well, it's awkward because I could totally see that being the first thing to go on people's lists of how to cut back on money. Is, well, I just can't be supporting these people right now.
Yeah.
And then when 30 to 40, 50, 80 people do that, then content creation starts getting axed really hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what's unfortunate for us is, like, what else are they supposed to do? Because that's totally fair. It's totally reasonable and totally understandable for them to do that. But it's like, well, that's just unfortunate.
Turn off your ad block. Turn off your ad block.
Yeah. That only matters if you're partnered, though.
You just reminded everyone to go check their subscription.
I know, right? Top Clack subs drop by half in the next minute.
I think I was going to take you guys down with me one way or another.
Wow, Chewy, really the villain here. Holy crap!
Yeah, turn heel. We talked about this before. He said he was going to play the heel character.
I'm over here trying not to bring it up, and Chewy's like, "Nah, you guys should all just stop subscribing to Top Clack."
Yeah. The other really interesting thing about this is that I don't know if you guys have seen it on Mex Deck, but we've been asked to produce more content because people are at home.
Yeah.
Like, can you guys give us more? Can you do more streams? That's literally the reason why we're doing this one today, because of viewer demand, effectively. So it's interesting as to how that'll play out. I mean, as I said before, with the example for the UK meetup, where people actually bought more tickets when we said we were having problems with the venue rather than started refunding them. I don't know if that will be the first thing to go. The counterpoint there is it might not be, because people rely on streamers and content creators across all sorts of different hobbies to give them entertainment, and right now they need more entertainment because they've got more free time. So perhaps it will go the other way. Just to play the devil's advocate with this, I think it could go both ways.
Well, it's also one of those things that gives us, both Chewy and I not working right now, it gives us more time to invest ourselves further into the content that we already make, and then maybe do some, like you said, additional things. We were talking last night after the Mech Madness Live, which airs Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Dang, he's getting good at this.
He's very good at this. He's got it written down on Post-it notes on his screen. That's what he's done.
But no, it allows us to get better content out and maybe diversify ourselves a little bit and maybe do some things. Like, I know y'all were talking about doing some watching streams in your Discord. Chewy and I are talking about playing games. We had a great night of gaming last night. We played some games with Langlandia and a couple other people in our Discord. Played some golf with friends.
Nice.
And maybe streaming
Highly
that.
competitive.
Yeah, just like being there for each other, and like you said, creating better content. And who knows, it may be a couple months of, if people can't afford it, then whatever. We're here for the content, not for the money aspect of it. Sure.
If we were here for the money aspect, we wouldn't be here at all.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on not a lot of money, but no, it's all about getting things that are cool, getting information out to people. Because it's funny. I was actually talking to Quakems about this the other day, and I don't. This wasn't part of our discussion, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Sure. I noticed that our the Reddit wiki does not mention content creators at all. So our community's largest
Forum, basically.
Forum, like the largest piece of our community, does not mention content creators at all, which is insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
You think that they would try to at least mention some people and try to get people out there, because at the end of the day, no one wants to go through 17 clicks to try to figure out where I can buy, a keycap set. People want to figure out how they can do things through a video or watching a stream.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about on the same note that the mods of RMK, when meetups started to become more popular years ago, how quick were they to add the meetups to the wiki? That shit was like instant. And then there's a structured list with links and everything and where it's going to be, and like it's great for meetups now. Maybe it'd be nice to do something like that for some of the content creators in the community as well.
Yeah, I have a channel in my Discord for the people I sponsor to have a ping every single time any of them goes live. To where, I'm not anywhere close to RMK, but for that reason, just to there's at least a community of people who can be notified.
We have a self-promotion channel, so any content creator guys can, or anyone who makes any content, or vendors, or whoever they are, if they've got something they want to promote and shill or share, then we want to give them a place to be able to do that. So it's good to see. I know Apri's got that as well. I don't go in your Discord very often to make some deck, but I assume you guys have something similar where you allow people to post their links and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we will by the end of the day.
You're making it right now, right? Okay, we're calling you out. Here.
I think Project Keyboard does it too.
Yeah, I think Teha Types has a server with a self-promotion channel as well.
So I think he does. If you combine probably 5 to 10 servers, that's a decent chunk of people who can get some sort of ping or link. But like you said, in comparison to RMK, it's like a tiny fraction.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like, so Nathan Kim, Teha Types, is full-time, and his YouTube subscription is like a third of what our Reddit subscription is. And it's not like we're asking for we don't want to be sticky to the top. It's just like, hey, this is the content in this community that is being produced right now is some of the most helpful and easiest way to get yourself ingrained further into the community and really get a great knowledge base. Why not promote that on the largest channel that this community has?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Seems smart.
Maybe we need to go talk to some of the mods there, Osiris.
It's changed things up a little bit.
Yeah. That would certainly be pretty cool to see, though. Anyways, back to the Q&A. Sorry for the long rant there, guys. Its Logo is asking, do you need a license for keeping owls?
Yes, you do.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes, you do.
Nice.
It's basically falconry, so you need to... the bird is registered, and like, for example, I can't go on breed with her, unless I have papers with me.
Gotcha. All right. 10 Starling asking thoughts, any links, a drop link. Looks like... I'm going to relink this just so you guys can find it a little bit quicker. It's going to be fresh there in the chat for you guys. And,
the Susu Atari, yeah.
Apparently, I haven't seen this yet. Is something going on here with the MT3 Susu Atari?
There's a couple of things. I haven't read this particular post, but if I remember rightly, I think there's 2 or 3 things with this. So Mateo had not signed off on the finalized samples, and I think he made a blog post about that. And then the mass drop post went up. And bear in mind, I haven't read all through this. I glanced at it earlier on. I think because of Italy's lockdown currently, they're struggling to get him more samples to finalize and sign off. So I think they've approved in advance in terms of legend and other capability, but I'd have to read it to make sure. But it's that kind of thing. They're struggling to get everything over to Matteo in Italy, so they're going to have to make some difficult decisions without his input.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning, guys. Like, this is going to be happening all over the world, so...
Yeah. I guess Dixie and the Necros, when you guys get color samples, if you can't get them to the original designer because of whether that be overseas shipping or whatever, is there going to be any point where you start to make some hard decisions there and make it a Dixie Mech or a My Keyboard decision rather than a designer decision? And to that point as well, Jeff, as a keycap designer, how would you feel about that?
am struggling on the internet, so I don't have a response to you right now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, to be totally honest.
Wow, slopey shouldered. I don't want to answer your question, so I won't. Okay, fine.
Hey, you got to realize Dixie is also a designer as well as a vendor.
Yeah, for sure he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
if
be
you
really
get samples,
pissed
that's
if
all right.
Dixie just said, "I'm not sending you these." Dixie's making the decision instead.
Yeah.
I could definitely see how that would like hurt the process, as well as the not pride, but the pride in your own work, to where either you have to say, "I have to delay this for infinite, like I don't know how much time, just so that I can physically visit myself," or trust this random dude on the internet to do it for me. So, which a lot of them are, it takes time even without any of these problems, because GMK sends them to me, and then I have to send them back over the ocean, back to them in another country. So it's like, it already adds weeks and weeks onto that. So that doesn't even include shipping delays.
Yeah.
Which luckily all of our samples at the moment have arrived before this happened. So I don't see that affecting me too much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, really. Mr. Petrov asking, did you guys discuss the new carbon fiber case / stainless steel bottom Rukia that just popped up? We have not. If that's a group buy that's happened since our last episode on Tuesday, generally that means we're going to be covering it on next week's episode. So this coming Thursday episode, if it's a group buy.
He's doing this to wind me up because he knows I won't.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Well, in that case, wind away. Wind away. Shout out to Mountain Blocks. He just earned his badge for donating a minimum of 25,000 bits in this channel. So, holy crap. Thank you so much, Mountain Blocks.
Huge.
Long time supporter. I think I'm wearing a Mountain Block shirt again, just out of habit. It's like 3 days in a row, different shirts. No big deal. Go buy for Mountain Blocks, shout out to him. Socialite with our next question, asking, any personal positives from this epidemic? My cooking skills seem to be getting better, for example. Awesome, positive, wholesome question. Love seeing that. What are you guys getting better at during this pandemic and isolation?
Cleaning my apartment.
Making keyboards.
Yeah, I heard people saying lubing.
Lubing has been a popular one. A lot of people doing that now.
It's been nice to actually get like ahead on switches and lubing, but also getting like quality time with my wife is nice.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
As a full-time employee, and then doing mechs on deck at almost part-time hours, like that takes a toll.
Yeah,
on
you
personal
have
relationships, and so I know Quakeums. I know you're right there with me, but being able to now have where it's like we're both kind of home and getting to spend a lot of time. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, I tend to like spending time at home anyways. I'm one of those kind of people. So this, for me, it's been all right because I don't have to wake up early and go to work. I just wake up and I do what I want, and it's amazing. I gotta be honest. It's been pretty nice so far. But I mean, obviously that's only gonna last for a little while, and I'm eventually gonna be struggling on money, and I've
been able to get
work,
way more time into the shop though now.
Nice, that's good.
Time off day job means way more time into the shop, way more time into Salmon.
Yeah, which in turn is way more money too. So I mean that's always good for manufacturers.
I'm not using it the time that way. I'm more using the time right now to streamline things, to build up the Pogo board, to figure out how to deal with project timelines and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not using the time to make more, but to make everything better that's behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's good.
No advantages here.
Dixie's
if anything, it's gotten more busy.
Normal.
Trying to deal with all this stuff that's delayed.
Yeah.
And for me, I've kind of been obsessed with tiny habits. So this professor at Berkeley just put out a book called Tiny Habits, where they talk about changing subtle things if you want to get better at things. So for me, like washing the dishes every single time I use a dish has been like a tiny adjustment to my life, and now I don't have dishes that I have to do, several times a week. Every time we have a meal, since my wife and my kids are home, so struggling with working and also being homeschool dad teacher has been interesting. But every time we have a meal, we actually sit at the table is like a subtle change that we've done that I think has been a very big positive for us. So
Nice.
Awesome.
For me, it's been DIY, getting some decorating done. Stuff I'd promised the wife I'd do 6 months ago. I'm finally able to get those brownie points because it's all happening now. So
Still don't have time to do that.
That's awesome.
I've got a 5-month-old nephew, so I'm excited to spend some time with him and my brother and sister-in-law. So
nice. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are taking the time to spend more time with their families, which is pretty cool.
Can I share an admission with the whole group right now?
Yes.
So it's March the 21st, right? And today I took down my Christmas tree.
Oh wow!
Let's get a round of applause in chat, guys.
Thank you.
We gotta go on this one.
We got there, boys.
Yes, I wanted to share that with you. So
that's impressive. Nice.
That is great. I actually
It's
have
my dog's birthday today.
Oh,
congratulations!
Zelda?
What's your dog called, Dixie? Which is Zelda?
Yeah, it's Zelda's birthday today.
Nice.
Shout out to Zelda.
Give her a pet from all of us.
That's right. Community pet. Community floof pets. I actually have a quick question for Dixie and the Necros being vendors, actually. So obviously in our community we've seen a lot of customers like to. I'm trying to word this in a really not mean way. Sorry. So basically, a lot of customers like to blame vendors for problems with manufacturers. Have you noticed that with all this COVID stuff, that people are a little bit more lenient with you guys as vendors via customer service versus how it maybe used to be when you get blamed for things that aren't necessarily your fault?
We're not personally being blamed right now or something, but what we do see is that people ask more questions like, is my order impacted? Will it be shipped? Will it arrive? All these things. They're worried about this and they're asking these questions. But blame, no. We just see more questions, basically.
Gotcha. The kind of blame I'm referring to, just to clear things up, by the way, is like, let's say you are running a group buy for a keyboard, and the manufacturer that you're using, you're outsourcing to China. Let's say they have a delay, and the board takes a month longer to get shipped to you, who is handling the distribution, and people get mad at you because that 1 month delay has occurred, effectively.
Well, we had actually something like that, but it wasn't really delay because of the keyboard itself, but because of boxes. With the Cypher group buy, we were waiting quite a bit for boxes because we were the manufacturer, their machines broke down, weirdly enough, and then the other one was from China. They ghosted us, and then the third one we sourced locally, and they eventually delivered. But that kind of delayed stuff. Customers were a bit annoyed by it. Quite obviously, but people understand more or less, I think.
Yeah, I'd say the same here. Just a ton more questions. So just constant customer service tickets being opened. I don't know if people just have more time at home to ask questions that they wouldn't otherwise ask, but they're just bored. So there's tons of questions that are asked that the answer already exists. But so we get a lot of those kind of questions, but no one's been like blaming, getting mad, or anything like that, I don't think.
The biggest one I've had recently is people wanting to change their delivery address from a work address to a home address because now they're all working from home. I've had a ton of that.
Ton of address changes. Either a lot of college students can't be on campus. So we've had a ton of students that say, I can't even be there. Can you change it to this address? So yeah, there's been a ton of address change.
Interesting. Young Geo is saying, he doesn't have a question, but he's saying, I didn't know Salvin was such a Chad.
Jay's been saying that the whole stream.
I'm not shy to say it, yeah.
All right. Depleted Lesbian asking, is the Reddit Wiki's info at least still relevant? Some of it is.
It needs an update.
It needs an update. It needs a team of a few people to go through and spend a day or two to kind of restructure everything and update the info that's in there. But some of it's still relevant, sure. Sorry, there's a lot of scrolling because there's a lot of conversation in chat.
Mr. Petrov donated 1,000 bits and said, "Please sing Happy Birthday to Zelda."
She got a big cookie.
Wait, you want all of us to sing Happy Birthday to Zelda?
I think we should do that. We can do
yeah.
that.
I'm
It's
okay
literally
with that.
just gonna sound
That's a
like
lot of
noise,
delay.
but sure.
It's gonna sound awful on stream because there's 8 or 9 people saying it. But I mean, for the nostalgia, we could probably do it.
Yeah, we should do it. We should do it.
All right,
Down.
You give us a count in Quakeums.
all right. Let's get it, guys.
God.
3.
Get ready to
Wait,
clip
it's
this.
Zelda, right? Zelda.
She's actually listening to this stream right now.
Is she? Okay, this is fantastic. Yeah, you
My
might
wife's watching it with her.
make sure Zelda is listening to this stream. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Oh, this
Happy
is
birthday to you. Happy birthday, Happy birthday to you.
The sound assaults.
Wow, I had to take my
my
headphones
God.
off for that one.
That
That was terrible.
Oh god.
Sorry to all of you in chat who just had your eardrums
Just clip my
exploded.
ear over.
She may not live till 10 anymore.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Petrov, I think you owe us another 1,000 bits for that one because that was amazing.
Wow.
I think Petrov can afford 2 for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
This
we're gonna lose all of our viewers now.
Yes, I bet that's clipped as well. Someone's going to have clipped that.
Yeah,
and that'll be
I-
all over the Discord server.
I'll clip that shit right before.
There's no way anyone was happy about that. Trust me.
No, God, no.
So.
This is all. It's Dixie's in cahoots with Chewy to get people to unsubscribe to Top Clack. That's what this is.
Is that what this whole stream is about?
This whole stream. Why do you think I said yes?
Here
I told y'all I was becoming a streamer, so I got to knock out everybody.
Here
Knock out the
I was
competition.
trusting Chewy, and Chewy's just trying to undermine Top Clack the entire stream.
So is Mex on decks? Are you guys hiring build streamers then?
Yeah, what do you guys need?
new segments, you know.
Oh well, this is
Branching out
mighty.
with
New show. It's,
This is
Top
mighty.
Clack is
on Mex on
now a
Deck.
segment of
This is mighty convenient.
It's called Corporate Takeover 101.
We could green screen Jay right in, you know.
Nice.
Mr.
Thanks,
Petrov
guys, I
does
appreciate
donate 500 more bits, and he says, "Please never do that again." I agree. That'll probably never be done ever again. So apologies for that, guys. But I think it was probably worth it for Zelda. All right, and we're actually looks like we're caught up on questions. So we'll do one more last call before we head out for the day, guys. If you guys have any last-minute questions, make sure to get those in now. Otherwise, we will be heading out momentarily, guys. Oh, yep, someone clipped it. Uh-oh. Nobody watched
This is bound to
that. Nobody
happen.
watched the clip, all right? Just nobody watched it.
I appreciate that you haven't updated the Nightbot to include your friends in this stream.
Oh,
Just you and-
well,
Just beers for Brian and Jay. That's
Whoops.
fine.
oh,
Fine.
Oof.
well.
I mean,
Where were you when Top Black died?
Feels bad, man. All right, yeah. So who's hiring? That's why we're actually having this stream. We're trying to figure out where we're going. Oh man.
My wife just sent me a video of Zelda while we were just singing that.
Homeroco doing giveaways on Instagram to promote Stay the F Home. Interesting. That's an interesting approach.
Nice. He did actually tag us on the Top Clack.
I saw
Instagram
that, but I
account.
didn't have time to actually read through it.
No, I locked myself out of it so afterwards, and if I try and undo it, the text message is going to go to your phone, Brian, because it's your account, so I can't get back in at the minute.
Oh yeah, I get all the notifications for it. That's kind of cool though. Yeah, I mean, people staying home is kind of a big deal right now. So I guess if people from inside the community can kind of promote that in their own ways, that's not really a bad thing. Dom D Dom asking, "Yo, I love what Salvin doing on Instagram with stories, juicy videos with the quote-unquote behind-the-scenes stuff. More people should share the knowledge, designers, vendors, etc. XOXO." Yeah, so maybe more behind the scenes of how people go about their days designing, manufacturing, being a vendor, content creating.
The best one that Salvan did recently is he was panning his camera around and he was showing some stuff off, and I think he was unboxing stuff from the anodizers, and he almost showed a table. He says, "Oh, I can't show you what's on that table," and he panned away. 30 seconds later, that whole table came back into view.
Shit! I didn't even know that.
Salvan, without a doubt, has one of the best Instagrams around. Always,
yeah, you should definitely go follow him. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna fuck up one day and show things that I really can't show. I'm gonna.
That's welcome to the club. That's what we do all the time. That's what it's like putting out live video.
Yeah, same thing.
You never know anything could happen, and you just have to roll with it.
The whole thing with key cult has been like ongoing for a month right now. It's make you feel, nope, can't show that. Delete that right now.
Young Geo asking, can Salvan make stories on Instagram on how to be so good looking?
Make keyboards?
How to be more attractive featuring Salvan, basically.
Become a machinist. There you go.
I like it. Hue asking, top Clack / Mechs on Deck back-to-back 24-hour stream win. Jesus.
Soon. I'd be 100% down for that.
Yeah,
me too.
We might be
I'm
able to coordinate something like that right now, just because so much. All of us have more free time than we're a little bit used to.
I do not foresee this end. Like, I was talking with my wife about this, and I was like, this is not going to all be done in 2 weeks.
No.
And right now, my order is April 3rd is the last day of closures. Expect to be back April 5th. I'm like, there's no way this is going to be done by April 5th.
No.
So I'm anticipating getting the email saying it's going to be May at the absolute earliest. And so I was telling Osiris, I was like, the second I find out, because our 1 year anniversary is coming up, and we were like already talking about doing something fun. Like, what else are we gonna be doing at that time?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like,
yeah. But
I'd be down for someone to help me figure out how to do stream. For sure.
Streaming? Okay.
hit up Dixie.
I hear Dixie.
Streamer.
Yeah, I hear Dixie is about to start streaming. He's probably a really good person to ask.
No, but honestly, like I'd like trying to figure out what setup would be interesting here, because it is so much moving around. It's not just a computer with a webcam on it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of, do you mean actually streaming your manufacturing process?
Yeah, like actually streaming stuff in the machine.
Nice.
That'd be really,
like
really interesting for the
But
community.
figuring out how, like, where to put cameras, how many cameras, how to integrate them all, that I'm gonna need some help.
All the cameras.
Yeah, I can help you out. You just need a little web service, a small web server running in the back end. You could have a website which is a front end with 5 or 6 cameras. People can flick between them. Dead easy to do.
Yep.
That easy, he says. Yeah.
Jay's a professional.
Yeah, it's like,
No problem.
give me 10 minutes.
Oh man, I love it.
In
All right.
5 minutes, he's away. Wait, let me turn on the cameras. Secretly installed in your shop. Live.
Oh wait, they happen to be in your bedroom, not in the shop. Oh dear, I'm sorry.
Just don't put a camera on that table you're not supposed to show.
Yeah.
The Panda with a question for Salvan, actually. Did Salvan go to school for machining or learn along the way?
Balls deep, man. I just jumped in.
Balls deep, he says. Nice.
Full send. Let's go, baby.
You're fully self-taught?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Nice.
That's impressive. Also, just because I've been saying it the entire stream, is the name actually Salvan or is it pronounced differently?
No, it's just Salvan. Yeah.
Salvan. Okay.
Salvoon.
Yeah.
Because I've heard some people say Salvoon or like other variations
No,
of
it's
it.
Salvan. Yeah.
All right, cool. Fantastic. Brez saying, tell Salvan to check out Grimm's Mo Knives on YouTube.
Oh, I know him. I know Grimm's Mo Knives. I talk to him sometimes. Well, he's huge. He makes some crazy knives and art, and his recent shop is a dream, to say the least.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that about rounds out our stream for today. I don't see any more questions in chat. Who has closing thoughts for this whole situation, guys? Anything
Stay
anyone else
home.
with?
Don't give someone
Just be
COVID.
smart. Just be smart. Like, wash your hands. Be smart. If you absolutely have to get out, go straight to your car. Then don't get out of your car until you are back home.
Yeah.
Like, don't go walk around crowds of people, but you can just as easily drive a couple miles down the road and back and feel the freedom of getting out. And
Yeah.
but just be safe, be smart, and buy keyboards.
Be smart and buy keyboards.
And be good to each other as well. That's the other thing as well, guys. Be good to each other. If you find yourself being dragged into something that could turn into an argument, don't let it. Just be happy to have differences of opinion. That's what makes this a beautiful thing. If we all like the same things, all have the same opinions, it wouldn't be a good hobby to be in. So, don't forget that you don't fall out.
People can like different things, believe it or not. So keep that in mind as well.
You can like different things and still be friends at the end of it.
That's crazy.
I know.
No. We can only like Dixie.
I see arguments in the Discord literally daily about people arguing about over whether a product they like or dislike, and it's like, you guys can like different things,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
Agree, yeah?
It's okay. You can still
That's
be
fine.
friends. I swear, more than one opinion is allowed. I promise.
No, dude, opinions can be wrong.
Hey,
True.
Go tell my wife that, okay? Please.
Bring her on, all right? Bring her on. Just kidding. I'm too afraid to say anything. All right. Anyways, I think before we head out for the night, I think it's only fair to give everyone a chance to shill as much as they want. So if anyone has any products they want to shill, or you want to shill your businesses, feel free. All of you, of course. And feel free to post all of your links in chat as well.
Yeah, Dixie, do you want to go first?
Sure. Sorry, I had to go get her. She was barking like crazy. This is Remy.
Oh, cute.
Shill the dog.
Is she
What
for
am I
sale?
doing? I'm shilling.
Shill
Okay,
the
I'm
dog.
shilling.
No, shill the dog too.
Yeah, is the dog for sale? I'll buy the dog.
This is no for sale here.
Darn.
Unless you want her to peel everything you own. So shilling. I'm Dixie, as you know, DixieMech.com. We're selling GMK Botanical till March 31st. All kits to be produced. Bauer B-Stock raffle is open right now till midnight. And Bauer Vickery auction on Tuesday. And Zambumon's Nautilus 2 next month. I'll stop there.
Very nice. I'm gonna try to post everyone's links. I'm gonna try to post everyone's links in chat so they don't have to.
Cool. Lang, do you want to go up next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Langlandia. I have a server for Discord that I'll post at some point, but I also, most of the things that I do you can find through Instagram. Tomorrow there should be something very interesting on Geek Hack, not hat. So look for that. Yeah, that's
Cool.
me shilling. Good times.
Next on deck, guys.
Yeah, check us out. We stream 4 times a week right now. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central. Check us out at twitch.tv/mechsondeck. Friday is Mech Madness Live with our good buddy Dixie here.
We're going to shill that.
No, you're good. You're good. Check that out. We'll go over the top 4. We're going to be debuting the finals. So that'll be 8 p.m. Friday. Twitch.tv/mechsondeck.
And if you missed Apiary from this stream, she will be joining us Wednesday.
Chewy just really trying to bring me down here.
He is, right? he's
Am
also doing well.
am I awful for not asking Apiary?
Dixie has given me a very clear instruction on how to take down Top Clack.
Wow! I actually believe that too. I believe that.
Wow.
Feels bad.
Okay,
Public enemy
Necros, do
number
you...
1 right here, baby.
Yeah, right. Okay, thanks. Necros, do you guys want to chill yourself?
Sure, I guess. I'm not good at that, but yeah, we got plenty of keycaps, including botanical. Yeah, go take a look. We have a lot of keycap group buys running, and there's a couple of new keyboard group buys who are going to be launching in the very near future. We're looking forward to that, so definitely hang out at our Discord, and yeah.
Nice. And Salvin?
Come and hang with me on Instagram stories.
All right.
Yeah,
I see
that's the main thing.
Buy your keycaps as well. Some sell ski caps and things. You know.
I wasn't sure which link to share for you, so I brought up your Instagram first, and I'm glad that I did.
Nice.
I was like, he's probably gonna say Instagram because I don't know if he has a website.
Yeah. I do, but it's like very like in the moment. Oh, I'm selling something. Go on there. Done.
Fantastic. All right, so of course, make sure to check out everyone's awesome products and content that we have here today, and to everyone else that's doing amazing work in the community. This wasn't supposed to be limited to specific people or anything. This was just the first people that popped into my mind, pretty much. And with that said, thank you all so much, so much for joining the stream today. It was fantastic, and we had some great discussions.
Thanks for the invite.
Not
Yeah, thanks for you guys.
Yep. So shout out to all of you guys and all of you people that watched today, donated bits, subscribed, everything. We greatly appreciate it, and we hope that you can tune in for tomorrow as well. We have a build stream featuring Jay, of course. So make sure to check that out as well. And we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, morning, night, wherever it is for you guys, and stay safe. Of course, stay isolated as much as you can. Stay quarantined. Make smart decisions, like we've been trying to say all stream. And just try to stay positive as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna end now just because that car from Lang was fantastic.
Yeah, if you'd hit the roll credit screen as the car went across, that would have been
that would have been a really big missed opportunity. So we'll just go with that.
That was the 6th attempt.
It would have been better if you all had a car. The exact same.
Yeah, we just all had a car, like a secret nod to do a car. Yeah.
We love you. All right, stream's over.